It is 2013. It is March. It's time for the third annual Landon Bracketology forecast. I'm coming to you from my home office in Portland, Oregon to tell you how this NCAA tournament is going to break down. We will start right in this Midwest region where Louisville got the #1 seed. I'll tell you right off top, that's the team that's going to win the tournament. Louisville has two incredible guards. March is all about guard play. They've got an elite post defender. They can draw on their experience from last year. They know the formula that it takes to get to the Final Four. They're well coached, and they got a really favorable draw, which matters. They're playing in locations close to home. They will be very good, and they will be fun to watch this year. Two other teams that people will probably pick coming out of that region, Michigan State and Duke. You're never wrong to pick Michigan State in March. Izzo's going to have them rolling. Duke I was really high on. I usually cheer for Duke. I love Coach K. I'm really high on their front court. Not so sure about their guards. I like Michigan State meeting Louisville, and I have Louisville going forward into the Final Four. A sleeper in that region, check out University of Oregon. Now, every single analyst, Joe Lunardi and Jay Billis and Digger Phelps and Dick Vitale, they're going to tell you to stay away from the Pac-12. Do not do that. That's foolish. There will be a team from the Pac-12 in the Sweet 16. I think that it's going to be Oregon or Arizona. Oregon has a crazy front line, and maybe I'm starstruck. We got a chance to go down to Eugene and play them this year. They have size. They can come out and go big against you, but they also have really skilled forwards that are good. They have a talented backcourt with Dominic Artis and Carlos Emery. If they get going, and Kazemi and Singler provide support up front along with Tony Woods at the 5 spot, they could be really dangerous. I have them upsetting Oklahoma State, who's a good team with two good guards that are both going to get drafted this year, Markel Brown and Marcus Smart. Check out Oregon. That could be a sleeper to watch. Then moving on down to the to the West region, we've got Gonzaga with the #1 seed. I was happy that the committee gave that to them. They deserve that. They earned that. I like them a lot this year. They've got great post players. I said that March is all about guard play. They've got two great post players. Elias Harris isn't a traditional post. They can get him out on the perimeter and kind of play through him. So I feel like they do have strength outside and inside. I just love Ohio State down there. I love Deshaun Thomas. I think he's an elite wing that's going to do very well in the tournament. Aaron Craft is a talented on-ball defender who's tough and has tournament experience, and he can really disrupt a lot of these good backcourts that they'll see. Down there, I already talked about Arizona a little bit. That's another front line that's interesting. They're young at that 5 spot, but very talented. And then at the 4 and 3, they kind of have rugged, smart, tough players in Solomon Hill and Kevin Parham, two older guys that'll do real well. They'll need their guards to step up and hit shots if they're going to compete and upset some people. I think that they'll get past Belmont, who's a high-scoring team, and then I think Arizona and New Mexico will be a fun game. I'll put Arizona in the Sweet 16 along with Oregon. Those are my two Pac-12 teams. Okay, up to the South. Now we've got Kansas with the #1 seed. I think that they've got a pretty good path to get to the Final Four. VCU's interesting. They've had a lot of recent success, but a lot of people say that this is the most talented VCU team that Shaka Smart has had. They'll be fun to watch this year. You've got Georgetown with the #2 seed. We were on the road in late November playing out in Idaho, and I remember being in a hotel room watching a Georgetown-Tennessee game that was the worst college basketball game I've ever seen. It was maybe 39-38 in the end, or 40-39. I've only seen them play once. It was a long time ago, but they proved to me that they're not a team that's really capable of hitting a bunch of shots, and that stuff matters in the tournament. So I've got Kansas coming out of there. I do have to mention there's potential for UCLA and Florida to play in the second round. This is like becoming a joke now. UCLA and Florida must have played, I guess this could be maybe 4 times in the last 8 years, 9 years. That needs to be one of the first things that the selection committee looks at next year. Those are two great programs. Let them play other teams. I was really bummed to see Jordan Adams go down. I'm a huge UCLA fan. I go down there in the summer and work camps. They've got a great staff. A lot of people were down on them early in the year. They had that bad loss to Cal Poly, and then you look at how they were playing at the end of the year. Really came on strong, really talented guards. Bummer to see Jordan Adams go down, but still watch them in the tournament. They'll be an interesting team to watch. Down to the East region, Indiana got that #1 seed. I'll tell you what, I'm done with Indiana. I'm done with Tom Crean. I saw him run up on that poor Michigan assistant. I shouldn't say poor because he probably makes a bunch of money. But he went and targeted a Michigan assistant on national TV talking about, you ruined our program at Indiana and you know what you did. I found out that that assistant wasn't even the primary assistant that was involved in the Indiana scandal. And at the end of the day, it was Kelvin Sampson. So Tom Crean, what's going on? Run up on Kelvin Sampson if you've got an issue. And if you really want to talk to the assistant, all coaches know at about 60 minutes before tip-off, teams are out on the floor and the assistants are accessible and can be found. You don't need to wait till the cameras are on and there's a bunch of people who can separate it out. Didn't like that at all, as you can tell. Let me just start talking about a coach I love. Jim Larrañaga has University of Miami rolling. They got that #2 seed. I remember Jim Larrañaga's George Mason teams when they were Cinderella teams. When I was in college, I think that's 06, 07, right around there. I've heard great stories about him from guys that have gone and worked his camp. Seems like a really, really good coach, good guy. They've got a great backcourt. They're really exciting. They're fun to watch. Check them out in the tournament. If Syracuse doesn't catch Indiana, I think that Miami will knock off Indiana to sneak into the Final Four. So that has me with the Final Four of Miami, Kansas, Louisville, and Ohio State. That's 2 #1 seeds and 2 #2 seeds. Nothing crazy this year. I've got Miami getting past Kansas on the play of those guards to meet Louisville in the finals. And then, like I said, I have Louisville winning the whole thing. That's how I see this thing shaking out. I hope you guys all have a blast filling out brackets, getting involved in pools and competing with people in your workplace or your friends. Quick plug, if you guys are looking for a great pool to get involved with, you need to get involved with Will and John's annual pool. They are in their 12th year, and this got started. Those are both former UCLA students. Will was involved with the UCLA men's basketball program. If you don't know Will Froelich or John Host, that's something that needs to be on your agenda for 2013 so that you can get in that pool come 2014. If you are already in that pool or thinking about filling out a bracket, you'll want to stay on top of a guy named Lou Mazzullo, who lives in Yonkers, New York. This pool is like 350 or 400 people, and somehow he's strung together like 3 or 4 years of finishing in the top 5, which is scary and makes him as much of an expert as any of these analysts we talk about on TV. Get in that pool. Do not gamble if you're a coach. Maybe have somebody fill out a bracket in the spirit of you. You can give them some consulting and advice. Can't get caught up in any kind of gambling, though. I will be in Atlanta for the Final Four. This is my first Final Four that I'll be attending. Really, really excited. This is my favorite sporting event. I hope you all enjoy it. Good luck in your brackets. Thanks for watching the forecast. We'll be back next year.